And good afternoon world. It's about 3 o'clock p.m. Bermuda time, 6 p.m. UK time, about 11 a.m. New York time on Sunday the 15th of March 2020. I'm still in Bermuda. I've been here 10 days now. I'm coming back to the UK in 2 days time. I'll probably get quarantined, but I'm so looking forward to getting back to the UK, because at the end of the day, I love my country. Now, up there in the sky, at the moment, we've got a really, really big one going up there. We've got Mars and Jupiter and Pluto all about to conjunct over the coming few days. So I'm going to do a few videos looking at the different factors involved in all this. Then I'm going to try and piece it together. And then at the end, there's a bit of a sting in the tail. And excuse me if I sound a bit irreverent with all the crises and trauma in the world, but honestly, if you can't find humour in the darkest times, you're not human. So, first thing I want to look at is Mars conjunct Jupiter. Now, if you go out there early in the morning and you look to the southeast at an angle of about 30-40 degrees, you'll see Jupiter, brighter than any other star. And just to the right of it, getting closer and closer, one finger's width away, in terms of when you hold your finger up at a distance, you'll see Mars, small white red dot, orange dot. Mars and Jupiter conjunct in Capricorn. Now, Mars is about the way you use your physical energy, whether it's down the gym, in the bedroom, digging the garden, walking the dog. It deals with aggression, warfare and violence, as well as bravery, heroism and courage. Mars is your capacity for being projective and assertive, as well as being confrontational and aggressive. Mars loves being in Capricorn because Capricorn is a sign that deals with structure and boundaries and order. And Mars likes being in Capricorn quite simply because it can express itself through physical hard work. Anybody with Mars in Capricorn is going to be a naturally hard worker. These are the people who just get stuck in and they just persevere and they put their nose to the grindstone and they don't resurface until the job's done. Mars loves being in Capricorn. Jupiter doesn't. Capricorn is Saturn's sign. And Jupiter rules the next door sign of Sagittarius. And Jupiter and Saturn are kind of equal and opposite. Jupiter's a big gas giant, bigger than all the rest of the planets in the solar system put together. And it gives out more than twice as much heat and light as it actually receives from the sun. So it's kind of generating its own power out into the world. But it's made of primarily 99.9% gas. It is hot air. You can't land on Jupiter, it has no substance. So there's never going to be manned missions there apart from in orbit. If we could ever learn how to capture it and use its power, it would power us for millennia to come. But subject for another time. But Jupiter's naturally expansive, growthful and sometimes downright optimistic energy, which is invariably over the top and larger than life, but still generally quite fun, doesn't work well with the more structured, disciplined and sometimes dour energy of Capricorn, or at least Saturn's side of Capricorn. So Jupiter always feels in Capricorn as if it's like a kind of, I suppose it's a bit like a gas oven that's got all its jets flaring, but it's encased in 20 foot of solid concrete. And when it does explode, it takes half the planet with it. So Jupiter doesn't really enjoy being in Capricorn that much. It's not its worst place by a long time, but it always feels a little bit inhibited, restricted or limited by it. Whereas Mars loves Capricorn. Now, when you put Mars and Jupiter together, normally this is a really lovely aspect. Whenever I see a Mars-Jupiter conjunction in a person's chart, it's a sign that this is a person who's got a good sense of humour, good sense of adventure. They've got a very good enthusiasm for whatever it is they want to do in life. And these are the people whose glasses are generally 51% full. Mars conjunct Jupiter in Capricorn, I guess, is someone who's going to just get stuck in and work and work and work and try and bring a bit of joy and humour into it, but the work comes first. But when you consider that Pluto is lying in the background, overseeing this conjunction, then there's a sense of brooding, of imminence, as if there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. Both Mars and Jupiter are upfront planets. It's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. You know what you're dealing with at day by day level. But with Pluto in the background, there is this kind of behind the scenes, not so much underhand or subversive, but behind the scenes and hidden energy, which could be very negative, coercive, manipulative, could also be very transformative, regenerative and rebirthing. With Pluto on top of Mars and Jupiter, this adds a kind of depth, gravity, intensity to the Mars-Jupiter conjunction, and it brings a forced energy of transformation into the process. So if you can blend enthusiasm with forced intensity of transformation, then I suppose that's one way of describing this current conjunction. If you look at this conjunction in terms of having Mars and Jupiter together with Pluto in the background, then Pluto's going to be subtly but consistently energizing at a deep level the enthusiasm for work, for keeping going, not giving up, sticking to your guns, working things through. And in this context, the Mars-Jupiter conjunction in Capricorn with Pluto in the background has to be seen as a really good thing. On to the next video.